Hi folks, Jimmy Paulding here. Just wanted to give you some updates from the campaign trail and talk about a smear campaign that is being well funded against me. So you may have received some of these attack ads. They contain all kinds of false information. For example, one of them says that I voted as a city council member to increase my salary when I voted against that twice. So don't believe what you're reading, and just know that this is not only funded by my opponent, but it's one of the largest developers in South County who has funded a political action committee to send out all this misinformation. And the reason is because they are worried about our groundswell of support and the fact that the community is behind me, and getting somebody into that office that doesn't work for developers and special interests, but works for the community at large. And that's why I've vowed not to take a single dime from developers, keeping my promise from 2017. So I just wanted to check in with you and again, remind you about the upcoming election on June 7th. I appreciate your support. Bye-bye.
And just because I happen to be looking at the whole list, I'm going to make the motion that we approve items 8A through 8I, not including item 8H.
Second.
Tie goes to the Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? Can we get a roll? Yes, sir.
Item 8I is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Rio Grande amending Section 2.04.040 of Chapter 2.04 of Title II of the Rio Grande Municipal Code relating to City Council compensation.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call, please?
Okay, Mayor Ray Russom.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Barnett.
Yes.
Councilmember George.
Yes.
Councilmember Paulding.
Yes.
Councilmember Storton.
Yes.
And item,
I'd like to hear your thoughts on the sequence.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So I appreciate the fact that Daniel mentioned it's okay to consider the continuity of incumbency. There are some logistical considerations there, looking at who on the city council plans to run in the future as incumbents. I think that aside from that consideration, and I'm happy to elaborate on my thoughts there, the proposed sequence of going with 3 and 4 in 2022 and then 1 and 2 in 2024 is less than ideal, because you're going to have two areas that are adjacent to each other, essentially, conducting campaigns at the same time. I think that it could help to create a clear delineation of which districts are actually up for election, from about red signs and all of that, to stagger the sequence, to do, say, 2 and 3 or 1 and 4. That was my initial thought there. And on the incumbency front, I'll just say candidly that if for some reason I wanted to run for re-election in November, it looks like I would be precluded from doing so based on the current sequence as well, unless we went with a map that went along Wasna instead of Stagecoach, essentially, because I live on the east side of town. So it's a consideration, not a big one. I'm happy to hear from the rest of the council their thoughts there. And I'll stop there. Thank you, Mayor.